Hello there, this is Vika from Art School of SF Bay, and this video talks about the project Drawing a Toy Character Using Construction. Ideally, for this project, you would use an actual toy of a character from a piece of media you love, but it really could be anything. You can use a stuffed toy, or a figure of a character, or if you don't have a physical object you like, a picture will do just as well. But before I demonstrate, let's talk about what construction means. So let's say you want to draw this funky guy. I've seen some artists do something kinda like this. They'll do their best to copy every bump and wiggle of the line, tracing along the edge to make the contour. By the time you're done, it looks like it's a bit wonky. Wouldn't it look better if you could just make the back a little wider, or the head a little larger, or set the eyes so that it's actually centered on the head properly? Of course, if you're working digitally, there's ways to fix it up in post, but if you're working on paper, good luck? Still, even digitally, it's good to be able to get it right from the first try instead of having to fix up every single picture you make. And you'll see from my demonstration, I intentionally avoid the use of transformation tools. So, you may have seen that sometimes people will draw like these circles or squares, indicating the volume of whatever it is they're trying to draw. It might seem redundant or confusing. How are you supposed to know how big to make the circles or how far apart they should go? Well, that, dear artist, is your job to figure out by visually analyzing the reference that you're using to draw. You gotta compare the sizes of the basic shapes to each other. So, these circles and squares that you draw as guidelines, that's construction. Drawing that nice, careful outline on top is actually step 2. Well, now that we have that covered, let me show you the demonstration that I've done. For my subject, I chose this robot fella from one of my favorite co-op puzzle games, Portal 2. Now, I know this looks like a complicated figure with all its bits and bobs, but he's really just a big egg with quite literally stick legs. They're fancy stick legs, sure, but that doesn't matter when you're first starting out the basic shapes. The first step is a top and bottom line to find the space I'm working with. Half is where the robot's body ends, and its legs start about halfway up from that, and ends just a little lower. The left leg is centered under the body, and the right leg is just next to it. The portal device itself is just a cylinder with a big egg on the end of it, and the hand is a plain old rectangle that I later chopped up into fingers. I also added a contour line down the center to help place the robot's eye. Everything beyond that is embellishment. I wasn't too worried about getting the shape of the wires perfectly, and my drawing isn't a perfect copy of my reference either. When I'm happy with the sketch, I go over the drawing with more precise, careful outlines. If you're doing this on paper, this is a good place to pick up an outliner pen. The pale lines, which you should have done, drawing lightly with a pencil, will end up getting erased as soon as the detailing stage is done. I ended up coloring my drawing as well. Instead of using the eyedrop tool to match the photo, I manually selected the color on the color wheel, starting with paler colors first and adding on layers of dark afterwards. Here is the final product. Now, it's your turn. Good luck!